Valve is one of those companies that is no stranger to breaking shit. And I am no stranger to repairing their shit. I have already made a prop fix pack for Left 4 Dead 2 that repairs over 70 broken models. And since Half-Life 2 got more popular and I decided to play it again, I came across some broken assets. And that's what this video is about, repairing broken assets of Half-Life 2. This video showcases all of the models that I found that are broken and that I managed to repair. In the video description is a link to a workshop page on which you can download a mod containing all of these fixes. Now without further ado, let me speedrun through all the things I did. First off, the HEV suit. In episode 1 and 2, Valve replaced the textures with this mess, and I undid that. The roller mine was broken in various ways. The collision mesh was wonky, even though it's not used. Every one of those columns has a light effect on it, but it can only be seen from the front. The back side of the light is not visible, and I changed that because that makes more sense. Furthermore, the roller mine was extremely shiny, so I made it dull, because no other combine metal is this shiny. This grey gas can could never explode. Some claim it's not intended to explode, but fuck it, why not? The red gas can could explode, but unlike every other explosive entity, this thing will never catch on fire, so I changed that too. These two propane tanks, even though they have warning labels, can never explode. On top of that, for some reason you were never able to pick this thing up with your bare hands, which makes absolutely no sense, so that's fixed too. This beige canister here has a broken collision mesh, meaning that it will never ever be able to stand upright, until now that is. This blue and red canister used to have a warning label on Half-Life 2, but in episode 1 and 2 they got removed, but they can still explode. This guy here is Cheaple. It is a low-poly man that you can only see from very far away. But since the 20-year anniversary came out, Valve completely deleted the idea of using LOD meshes. And this model's sole use is to be a low-poly model for very far away. But since LOD no longer exists, this guy's use also doesn't exist anymore. Hence why I replaced him with a higher poly counterpart. This thing here is the Combine Cannon, or also known as the Autogun. It is used in episode 2, but as you can see, the animations are such jank. It has so much recoil, and even the base it's mounted to moves when you shoot. Hence why I completely redid the rig and redid the animations as well. And this here is an elevator gate that is complete chunk. Not only does it have shadows baked into the texture, but every one of those diagonal struts doesn't even properly touch the rest of the model. So I decided, to heck with it, I'll just completely redo this model from scratch. This little cabinet is also a special contender. Not only does one of the handles not have a UV map, but it's completely missing the back side. This thing used to have handles in the leaked version of Half-Life 2, but in retail Half-Life 2, for some reason it doesn't have handles anymore, so I added them back in. And this shelf is just nuts. It looks like it's supposed to be rusty, right? Well, actually it's wood. Valve completely forgot to finish this model, and it uses temporary textures of this dresser that we just looked at. These textures even have the word temp written on it. This model is so unfinished it's laughable. The Barnacle had two glaring problems. For one, the root of the Barnacle, where all the flesh goes into the ceiling, is in the ceiling. Not flush with the ceiling, but inside of the ceiling. And then the Barnacle is also too thin. When it eats a human, the human clips through the body, and that looks stupid. So not only did I move the Barnacle down, I also made it wider so that it can actually devour humans. Last but not least, the ceiling turret and the combined camera. I took the liberty to basically delete the turret and replace it with the camera model because the camera has a gun on it and it is never used, and that's a shame. If the camera aims far left or right and then shuts off, it simply clips through the ceiling. A little bit of animation editing fixes this though. Another thing that I'm very proud that I managed to fix is I repaired the turret's entire shooting function. Originally, when a turret shoots at you, you can't see it, you can't hear it, you're just suddenly dead. For some reason, this thing didn't play the firing animations and the sounds didn't even exist. So not only did I port the camera over to the turret, but I also gave it working shooting animations and sounds. So now this thing is actually doing what it is supposed to be doing, except that it no longer looks like an angry PlayStation 2 on a stick. And that's about every single broken model that I could find that I have repaired. If you want to financially support me and what I have been doing for the past decade for all of us, I have a PayPal in which I gladly accept donations. But no rush, you don't have to pay if you don't want to. But this video has been long enough as it is. Take care, see you next time, bye.